burger. Quite a good here. Ow! Tomatoes? Wow! On the top. Now I can eat now. Nice!
Today, I will be making Haachama Best Burger because as many of us have fallen into the Hololive rabbit hole and cannot escape, I want to create some content as well. Since I cannot draw to save my life, the only thing I can do at this point is create some food. The first part of the video will be me recreating Haachama's recipe to tea, and the second part will be me trying to improve it to see if I can make it a lot better. To start off the recipe, you want to grab your choice of hot and spicy ramen. I went with Marchan hot and spicy chicken ramen. You can go with whatever is available near you. Now just follow the instructions on the ramen packet and set aside while we prepare the other ingredients for this madness of a recipe. The next step is grabbing your tomato and cutting them into thick slices and setting them aside as well. Next, prepare a non-stick skillet on medium-high heat to cook the chicken. The only seasoning that you will need is salt from the tears that you'll be crying when making this chicken with no oil. You want to cook each side for about 3 minutes until you see some browning on the chicken. Then you can set aside as well. At this time, the ramen noodles should be fully cooked and you can proceed on with the next steps. Drain all the water from the ramen noodles so that only the noodles remain. Then you want to add the seasoning packet and make sure that the noodles are evenly coated with the seasoning. Since everything else is prepared, the last step is toasting our buns and grilling the cheese on the buns. When toasting the buns, you want to accidentally burn one of the buns while you're waiting for the cheese to melt. After everything is nice and toasty and melted, it is time to prepare Haachama's Best Burger. In assembling the burger, we'll be following Haachama's lead in preparing the burger. To start off, you want to grab the bottom bun of the burger and place a chicken on the top of it. Now, you want to grab your ramen and place some ramen noodles on top of that chicken. As the noodles and chicken are getting to know each other, you want to add a thick slice of tomato to this party. Since this party is going well, let's spice it up a little bit by adding some salmon to it to make it a sushi burger. Since everything is finally assembled, we need to get a cross section to see the recipe in its full glory. Taking the first bite of this burger was very interesting. The only thing I could really taste was the salmon. It was very overpowering, and I couldn't really taste the other flavors of the burger. I mean, the noodles were there, but I feel like the seasoning of the ramen that I chose was not as strong, and it was spicy, but it was not that spicy compared to other sauces or spicy things I had in the past. Would I recommend creating Haachama Best Burger? I mean, why not? I mean, it's an interesting recipe. I would say do without the salmon, and it might be a better burger, but we'll see. The second part of the video will be me remaking the recipe in my own vision. You want to start off by grabbing a low rim baking sheet and placing some parchment paper in it. Then you want to grab some aluminum foil, about 4-inch sheet, to make into a patty shape. You want to start folding that 4-inch sheet until it becomes a 2-inch thin strip of aluminum foil that you can form into a patty shape by forming a circle of that sheet. With the amount of ramen I had left over, I could have made 4 ramen patties, but as you can see, I only made 2. Depending on the amount of ramen you have, you want to make that amount of patty cutouts for your amount of ramen you have. Do as I say, not as I do, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's making this burger. The next ingredient that we'll be improving is the chicken. I went with a breaded panko chicken that will be deep fried. For the mixing, you want to grab 3 separate bowls. In one of the bowls, you want to mix about 1 cup of flour, a tablespoon of onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, a pinch of black pepper, and salt. Then mix it all together until it's homogeneous. In the next bowl, you want to crack 2 eggs together and beat them together. As you can see in this part, I kind of messed up and got the eggshell in the egg mixture. So I'm using the egg to grab it and fish it out. Don't try to be fancy like me, trying to crack 1 egg with 1 hand. I don't have enough skills yet to do this. In the last bowl, you want to pour about 2 cups of panko breadcrumbs. When breading chicken, you want to employ the wet hand, dry hand method. This method is where you use 1 hand for the flour and panko breadcrumbs, and the other hand is for the egg. This is to prevent your hand from getting cakey with the batter. You also could use chopsticks, but then switch to fork because you realize that you have little to no skills using chopsticks. After your chicken is nice and breaded, it is time to fry the chicken. Next, you want to grab a pot and fill it with vegetable oil enough to submerge the chicken. When it comes to deep frying chicken, you want to make sure the oil is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and for people who use Celsius, it's 176. Once the oil has reached the appropriate temperatures, it's time to cook the chicken. Place the chicken into the oil and cook it for 3 to 4 minutes, or until it's golden brown all around. After the chicken has finished cooking, you want to place the chicken on a rim baking sheet so that the excess of oil has time to drain. Now you want to grab the ramen patties from the fridge and a skillet to cook it with. Place about a teaspoon of vegetable oil on the skillet and set it to medium-high heat. Once the skillet is hot, you can place the ramen patties and cook it until it's golden brown on both sides. As you can see, I kind of messed up and forgot to put the cheese on the ramen patties when it was cooking on the skillet. Once the ramen patties are done, you can set that aside for now. Since the skillet is still hot, you can use it to toast the buns. Now that everything's nice and cooked and set aside, it's time to prepare the Haachama Burger version 2.0. Now it's time to assemble the burger. I grabbed the bottom bun of the burger and then placed the ramen patty on top of it. Then I grab a chicken strip and place it on top of the ramen patty. On top of the chicken, I add a slice of tomato and a piece of salmon with the tomato as well. Since everything has come together, finally, it's time to get a cross-section of the burger. Overall, the burger has a better shape from before. This is mainly due to the ramen patty being an actual patty. When it comes down to the taste, the chicken tastes a lot better because of the seasoning and panko breadcrumbs, and it does mix well with the ramen. Sadly, I'm still able to taste the salmon and it's very overpowering. So if you're going to make this sandwich, I recommend you skipping the salmon and sticking with the chicken and ramen instead. It makes it a better experience and you're not overpowered by the salmon flavor. Just want to thank everyone who has made it to the end of the video and thank you for watching it. So pretty much it's the YouTuber thing, like and subscribe, make some comments on the video, tell me how I can improve since this is like my first time making a video like this. So thank you and have a good day.